Welcome to What Self-Care Looks Like. I'm your host, Brittany Elliott. It may be hard to hear, but self-care is not spa days, a weekend getaway, or brunch with your bestie. True self-care is the practice of protecting your well-being and happiness, and it lives within your daily routine. I'm a self-care and mom life coach here to help you prioritize your needs and practice self-care in a meaningful way so you can reclaim joy in your motherhood experience. Let's get back to you. Hello and welcome back to What Self-Care Looks Like. I am Brittany Elliott. I am your self-care and mom life coach here to help you prioritize your needs and practice self-care in a meaningful way so that you can reclaim joy in your motherhood experience. And today I am going to stick to my script this episode. For last week's episode, I did not stick to a script, which I mean, it's fine sometimes, but I had a lot of brain fog for last week's episode because if you listened, I mentioned how I was just feeling really tired, and then it all made sense because later on that day or night, I started my period. So it was all just hormonal and then a fog and all that. And so to avoid some of that's been going on with my hormones and everything, I am going to do my best to stick to the script. So we are still in the New Year's refresh. So remember, for season 16, it's dedicated to the New Year's refresh. I'm not someone who is a huge advocate for a New Year's resolution. I'm not big on New Year, New Me. I am very big on being intentional and setting your goals and making sure they're in alignment with your vision. And so that's what we are going to be doing as we work through season 16. So before we get into our activity for today, I just want to let y'all know just like a little bit more about me, just in case you're new here. And if you are not new here, welcome back. And you get to hear about me again. But I am what is my, let me get the prompt going, y'all, so I don't mess any of this up. Let me slow it down. There we go. So, as most of you probably know by now, I am a working mom of one. And essentially, I started back 2 and 5 because I lost myself in motherhood. And becoming a mother really was never a huge part of my plans. And I wasn't prepared for how much of myself I thought I had to sacrifice in order to be a good mom. In motherhood, I really shined a light on both my strengths and my weaknesses. It has revealed my own unrealistic beliefs about motherhood and unrealistic expectations of how much I can truly accomplish in one day. So, as a self-care mom life coach, I've been creating resources to support working moms through their burnout, mental load, exhaustion, overwhelm, resentment, basically all the motherhood challenges that we encounter along the motherhood journey. And the New Year Refresh series will allow you to set your intentions for the year and create goals that are truly in alignment with a vision that you have for your life. So today we're going to be working through pages 5 and 6 of the companion guide, which you can download at backtune5.com/mom. You don't have to print it. I just happen to be a pen and paper type of gal. So that's why I printed mine. And so we're going to be working through pages 5 and 6. If you want to scroll there, or if you're using paper, you can get there. And so for this part of the New Year Refresh series, we're going to dive into each wellness point. So make sure you have a balanced approach to your overall wellness. And you can do this by using the overall wellness quiz, which is just a clickable link on page 5. It'll take you straight to the quiz so that you can complete it. That's going to help you determine which wellness point needs the most attention. There are 5 wellness points that we focus on through Back to You in 5. It's all about getting back to you with simple activities that you can do in 5 minutes or less every day that will impact one or more of these five wellness points. So we have social wellness, physical wellness, spiritual wellness, emotional wellness, and intellectual wellness. Today, we are going to focus on social wellness first, okay? So, social wellness is the ability to create, maintain, and promote good relationships with other people. And it's maintaining optimal social roles and relationships with other people that encourage connections, support mutual benefits, and decrease harm to others. So, this is important because strong relationships really remind us that we're not alone. It's very important for our children to see us being not just their mother, but being a friend, being a spouse, being a mentor, being a supporter for other people. And it really provides a sense of community. And our social wellness helps to validate our concerns and frustrations and to help impact us and celebrate us as we are pursuing our goals and achieving our goals. And you really do have to be intentional about your social wellness, especially because as mothers, a lot of times with the women I work with, it's it's always about I feel like I'm alone because all I do is spend time with my kids and I don't have that much adult interaction anymore. And as we get older, what compounds on that is it feels like it's a little more difficult to make friends and build relationships with new people. So you do have to be intentional about your social wellness, and you want to make sure that you are not participating in social wellness activities that will negatively impact your social wellness. For example, if you hang out with people you don't really like that much, or if you go to an event, party, a dinner, etc., when your social battery is depleted, you will negatively impact your social wellness. Or if you are spending time with people who just deplete your energy, spending time with people who are takers, not givers, those type of things negatively impact your social wellness. So think about where you are on the extroversion scale. Some people do great in very large group settings, clubs, big parties, bars, things like that, because they are energized by people. While others may prefer, groups of five or less, just having more low key settings because being around people drains them. So recognize where you are on the extroversion scale and plan the activities accordingly. When I was younger, was definitely more of an extrovert. And I was just always kind of like the life of a party. Even now, when I go out, people do tend to gravitate toward me. Strangers have never had a problem just engaging in conversation with me, even if I don't initiate conversation. People have always initiated conversation with me. And my mother said I've always been a talker. So it kind of makes sense to me that people do that. But as I got older, just being around people so often is just very draining. And while I do very well in those types of situations, I just would rather not. So I'm a lot more selective, and sometimes for work I have to travel for meetings and events, and man, it is so exhausting. And at the end of like conferences or things like that, I just go into my hotel room and I usually just take a shower and I just curl up in the bed and I just take a couple deep breaths and I just go to sleep because I'm so exhausted from just peopling all day. You may be like that, more of an ambivert, as in you can do well in those social settings, but it is very draining for you. Or maybe you're an introvert where you just would really prefer not to do that, but maybe your job requires you to do that, or maybe you have to put more energy into doing it. Maybe you're more of a sit back and wait until you're invited into a conversation. You may be on the other side where you're an extrovert, where you're driving the conversation and you're kind of like the life of the party. And there's nothing wrong with any of these. It's just self-awareness is very important, especially when we're on our self-care journey, and we're going through our motherhood journey. You just have to know who you are, what you like and what you don't like, and how you can thrive within the parameters of who we are and the demands that we have on our life. So here are a few social wellness activities that may fit your lifestyle. So working out with others, having a workout buddy, you could do yoga with a friend or go to a yoga class or some other type of fitness class like cycling, do a cooking class. If you really like fitness, Fit for Moms is a great option if you want to be amongst other mothers. My husband and I, we tend to work out together. So if I'm available to go to the gym with him, we'll go to the gym together. More often than not, I just work out by myself at home. But that's one way that I impact my social wellness is by doing things with him that we both enjoy. And fitness is something that we both, it's hard for me to say I enjoy fitness because I go to the gym and complain about it for the entire time almost. But I like the way that it makes my body feel. But that's just one thing that we do like to do together. You may decide you really want to hang out with your friends who don't have kids so that you can have a break. Going out to eat with other people, eating dinner with your family without distractions is a very good social wellness activity. So put your phones away, put tablets away, like put screens away, turn off the TV. You can just sit and connect, maybe have some music on for background noise. Collaborating with others through community events or other event planning, like volunteering. Um, some people love like preparing meals for other people. Maybe you're someone who really likes to entertain, so maybe you host things at your home. I know this past summer, which I talked about in last week's episode, I we did a lot of just things in our backyard. So we barbecued a lot in the backyard. The neighbors came over, friends came over, and we just sat at home and just kind of fellowship together. That's always nice. If you are trying to read more this year in 2025, maybe you decide that you'll have a book club. So it doesn't have to be, 3, 4, 5 people. You and your best friend can decide to read a book together, and then you can just text about it. And then, maybe once a month you meet up to talk about the book, or you just, FaceTime or video chat to talk about the book. So you have your own little book club. Or you can have like little meetup groups, game night with your family. That's really good for your social wellness. Traveling is something that technically does impact your social wellness, but I know for me to plan a trip and travel, especially with the whole family, is sometimes more stressful at times than it is relaxing. So I don't recommend that for everybody. But again, I'm just throwing things out there that may work well for your personality. It may not work well for me, but that doesn't mean that you won't love it. I mentioned volunteering, so going to animal shelters or food banks, doing community advocacy, just seeing in 2025 what community groups you may be able to get involved with that align with who you are. Um, Networking events, very important. I mean, networking is important for your progression through life, not just your professional development, but your personal development. You just want to create a network of people that, could potentially become your friends. Like, I really feel that creating a network of real people who you can lean on for certain things is very important. It gives you new perspective on things. And it's just nice to be around other humans when it's on your own terms, if that makes sense. So I think you're kind of getting the idea, but choose an activity. Uh, if you add at least one more person to it, you are impacting your social wellness. And it's very important to prioritize some time with your spouse or partner so that you are being connected with them and being intentional about that. So a date night can be in your home or outside of your home. That's very important. Having family day events where you're spending time with your children, spending time as a family, those can be in the home, outside of the home. Doing things with your extended family is important as well. If you do family reunions, maybe you've never done one, maybe you want to plan one for this coming year. Just think about those types of things. So, now that you understand what social wellness is and how to improve your social wellness, let's get into the prompts that are on page 6. If you're looking for a supportive village of like-minded women to go through motherhood with, Reconnect is the membership for you. It's not just coaching and workshops, it's community. It's your roadmap to a life where your needs matter, your well-being thrives, and your joy is front and center. Whether you're just starting to explore self-care or you're ready for deeper support, there's a membership level to meet your needs. Visit back2in5.com to get started. And this will be similar to what we did last week with going through the prompts. It's just that with each of these wellness points, we just have 3 prompts per. So each of the wellness points episode will be an overview of the wellness point, and then we'll get into the prompts, and then I'll let you go about your merry old day. So again, make sure that you download the companion guide that goes with it. This is the document that I'm going to be working through. And that's back2in5.com/mom, and it's linked in the show notes. And also like, share, subscribe the show. If you know another mom who could benefit, I would love if you would share it with them so you can help me get the word out and to be able to support more moms to be able to reclaim joy in their motherhood experience. All right, page 6. So, does socializing boost or deplete your energy? And that's what I talked about at the beginning of the episode. For me, it mostly depletes my energy, just depending on how my day has gone. I know earlier today we went out to lunch with my husband's cousin and her husband, and so that was really nice, and that didn't deplete my energy. It was great. And then after that, we went to my mom's and visited with them, and I felt great, and I had enough energy to get home and record this episode, so that feels great. But I know that, when I go to work tomorrow, it might be a lot, it's just different when you're at work, when you're at meetings and people stop by your office or you have to stop by and talk to them. Could deplete my energy. Maybe it won't, but just, it's okay to check in with yourself even in moments. So let's decide you try to do something new this year to impact your social wellness, and the goal is to improve it and impact it in a positive way. So let's say you decide to go to a networking event in January and you decide, okay, new year, new month, let me try to, go out and meet some people. And you get there and you're like, ugh, this is one, overwhelming, or wow, this is draining. I'm doing a lot of talking. I'm tired. Or maybe the people there aren't great and they're complaining and, the vibe is just not good. You can leave. You can totally leave if you've been somewhere for 30, 40 minutes and you're like, this just isn't my thing. Then you can leave. So you're not locked into anything that we're deciding. We're really just, especially in these first 7 weeks of the year, as you're working through the New Year's refresh with me, we're really trying to see where we want to set our intentions, where we want to align our goals for 2025, and we're feeling things out. So if you try something, especially in this first quarter, if you try something that really is not in alignment, something that you don't like, then you cannot do that and pivot to something else. But what typically happens when people are like, oh, I'm going to set this resolution, I'm going to try it, and then once maybe that thing doesn't work, instead of trying to figure out what will work, we just back off of it entirely. Just like, let's say you decide, I'm going to get a gym membership and I'm going to start going to the gym 5 days a week. Well, that doesn't work out, and you just turn your back on the gym instead of saying, okay, 5 days was a little too much. Maybe I need to just try 2 days, or maybe I need to try going for 30 minutes instead of an hour, or maybe I need a friend to go with me. So if it's something that you really want, then you need to make your effort for that match your ambition. Like if you really want that, then you need to be willing to work for it. And my daughter, it was last week maybe, she said to me, if you want to do something, you have to do it. And just coming out of the mouth of a 6-year-old, it was like, yeah, you're right. If I am saying that I want this thing, I have to do the things required to get it. If I want it, then I have to do it. And if I don't want it, that's fine. But we don't have to put up this facade and make it seem like it's something that I wanted. You can change your mind. You can try something and say, you know what, this doesn't make me feel the way I thought it would make me feel. So I'm just not going to do that. And I'm going to find something else that works. So just being on the journey of reconnecting with yourself is very important to recognize it as a journey so that you don't feel defeated if things don't go exactly how you thought they would go. You know, life is meant to be lived as well. So live, learn, and adjust in the process. So prompt number 2, what type of social interactions do you prefer? So if you're someone who would rather go to a networking event, or would you like to get the family together and go to the zoo? Do you rather go to brunch or socialize while eating? Would you rather everybody be together but not like talking? So the example that is if we're watching a movie together, or if we go to the movies, we're together but we're not like socializing at the time. Is that something that would positively impact your social wellness? So you really have to think about your needs, because I want you to get into the habit of thinking about your needs first, and then of course making the adjustments necessary to meet the demands of your child's needs too. Because let's say your child wants to go to the movies and you just know that's going to take you out. Like you're like, I don't want to do that. I'm not going to enjoy it. Going to the movies for me is very overstimulating because it's loud in there and I don't like it. But it's like, okay, well, maybe you can have a couple different options for the movies, or maybe there's movies with reclining seats versus a movie theater with other seats, or maybe you go when there's some type of special promotion going on. Maybe you prefer a drive-in theater instead of just a traditional theater, those type of things. Or maybe you say, hey, let's just do a big movie night at home. Maybe in the summers you get a projector and do a big movie night outside in the backyard. Like think about the things that are not going to overstimulate you or make you feel uncomfortable, but you're still meeting the needs of your children and you're still, compromising with your spouse and things like that. And then prompt number 3 is, who would you like to spend more time with? For me, like last year in 2024, I really wanted to spend more one-on-one time with my mom. So we started meeting once a month for lunch. So I actually work in the same town that she lives in. So she'll pick me up and we'll go to lunch together. And so she'll pick me up from my office. We'll go to lunch together. I'll pay for our lunch and we'll just have like a little chit chat. She'll drop me off back at the office. And it's just a nice little time that we get to spend together. And we literally only do it once a month. And then a couple weeks ago, randomly, she and I were able to go shopping together. And she really likes to go to different thrift stores and consignment shops. And this is actually one of the tops I was able to get from there, which I really, really like. It's my favorite color. It's very comfortable. So just, she was definitely on my list of people I want to do more with and spend more time with. So, think about who you would like to spend more time with and how you can do it within the parameters of your life, within any confinements that you have, scheduling issues, and things like that. Y'all see this? If y'all are watching my nails, I need to. This one, when I went to the lunch that I was at earlier, it was just like hanging. I just do my nails myself with a little gel polish kit and it was coming off. So I picked it. And then once I started picking, it's basically over. But for Christmas, my husband got me this little soaky offy kit thing that right after this, I'm going to try it out. I went and got the nail polish remover for it. So maybe if I remember, I'll tell y'all about how I liked it. But anywho, that was our social wellness, our social wellness episode. I hope you enjoyed it. Again, if you haven't already, make sure you download the companion guide for this season. That's at backtoyouin5.com/mom. It's the first resource there for you for the New Year's refresh. And make sure you take the quiz on page 5 of the companion guide so that you know where you'll have to put your attention this year when it comes to your social wellness. Remember, there's 5 wellness points. Social wellness is just one of them. Social wellness, physical wellness, spiritual wellness, emotional wellness, and intellectual wellness. So next week, we'll be talking about physical wellness. In the meantime, I hope that you enjoyed this episode. Have a wonderful day, and I'll talk to you very, very soon. See ya. Thanks for listening to this episode. I hope you learned at least one thing you can implement into your daily routine. To connect with me, follow at Back2You in 5 on Instagram. If you're feeling generous, share this episode with a mom you know and subscribe to the show. I appreciate your support. Remember, motherhood is a journey, not a destination. Grow through it and enjoy the view.